Value for money is what most people look for, especially when it comes to major purchases such as a house or a car. Well, for another of life's big spends, the cost is still relatively high, and so is demand. Capital D met some couples as they prepared to tie the knot to find out how the recession has been affecting their big day, for better or for worse.
While most of Ireland's economic sectors remain in the gutter, the wedding industry has been blessed by the 40,000 fiancés who will this year commit their lives to each other and spend a ton of money in the process. Although many of us are feeling blue because we borrowed too much to buy something new, it seems that is simply not enough to make Ireland's fiancés forgo their dream day.
The weddings industry could best be described as very recession resilient. There's still going to be 20,000 weddings in Ireland this year, not that much different from the last couple of years. There's still 1,000 brides a month registering on weddings online, which is a good indication that there's plenty of weddings happening in the future.
It did affect us, and we still went ahead and got most things that we wanted to get.
We kind of prioritised the things that were important to us and not what we wanted to spend our money on, rather than like going gung-ho on everything, you know.
And it's not that the nation's brides-to-be have been unaffected by the recession. Recent research by weddingsonline.ie found that of 86% of couples polled, one or other of the two recently lost their job or had their income reduced.
Yet, the average spend on weddings is still 25k. It's only about 10% down on recent times, and only 5% of people have said they've postponed their wedding because of the recession.
Although couples are still spending money, their approach to planning the big day has changed. According to Tara Fay, one of Ireland's most sought-after wedding planners, one of the biggest changes is the lead time in bookings.
They are waiting to make their decision until much closer to their wedding day, which is very unusual. And this year in particular, they're doing it. So maybe somebody who's getting married in 6 months' time won't have booked all of their vendors at this stage, whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, they would have booked them 12 months out.
The second thing is that they're using their own money to pay for their wedding. Because they're not borrowing large amounts of money for weddings. They're borrowing some, but not an awful lot.
Another big change is the wedding list. The ideal gift for many couples these days is not something for their house, but more like something for their bank.
Cash is definitely the preferred present. The traditional gifts are no longer the number one choice of brides and grooms, and they're also using that cash to partly fund their weddings.
When it comes to the various must-haves for the big day, it seems that the focus is not so much on spending less, but instead getting more for the same price.
A lot of suppliers and vendors are having to maybe not necessarily lower their prices, but maybe add a little hook. You'll find that photographers, for example, maybe will be offering a better package. Maybe they're giving a lower price on an album package.
We've had the same levels of interest as in previous years. The main difference is value is the key. I would have to say that more and more couples look for an all-inclusive price. So what they'd be getting is an arrival drink. They would be getting canopies with that. They'd be getting a choice on their menu. They'd be getting the late night snacks. They'd be getting an additional course thrown in. And then equally they'd get a reduction on room rates, and we'd also include additional complimentary suites for family, which is something, you know, prior that would have been treated separately as such.
The venue, when we actually booked it, they offered us like a package with like X amount complimentary items, so we thought that was a great deal. So at the time we got him to sign it, so he wasn't going to go back on that. So then again, coming closer to the time, 6 months in advance, we went back to the hotel and met with the wedding coordinator, and she said that they actually updated their package and they had offered like extra complimentary items like executive rooms for our parents and a bar extension, you know, which we were thrilled at.
And the resilience of the wedding industry has recently caught the attention of mainstream retailers. Last weekend, Dundrum Town Centre launched its first offering to the wedding market when shoppers were treated to mock weddings and fashion shows.
There was a variety of different activities that took place across the 3 levels of the centre, but most notably there were fashion shows, hourly fashion shows on Saturday and Sunday, showcasing to customers different looks from the bride to the groom to mother of the bride to guests.
So what can couples do to save money on their wedding? Well, flexibility on detail seems to be a big one, availing of cancellations or having a mid mailing lists, and don't be afraid to negotiate.
Signing up to like loads of like bridal shop mailing lists, because when I bought my dress in the same shop that week they had bridesmaids dresses buy one get one free, so and I wouldn't have known about that.
Whereas before you might have been a bit more inclined to just go with a price. There would have been other savings along the way as well.
And when all the negotiation and preparation is done, the only other thing you must remember to do is enjoy every minute of the special day.
With many people having had to face redundancy over the past couple of years, one man, Erin Downs, decided to do something about it. This was the beginning